for coming back to my channel. I'm Candace, aka Geeky Candy, here to bring you some more random geeky content. Today, we're going to be covering not Mandalorian. Yes, today I decided I have a few different topics that I wanted to cover, so I'm going to be putting out a few different videos over the next couple days that are not Mandalorian oriented, but I cannot promise that a Mandalorian one will not sneak in at some point, but there will be others that are not. So that's something new. Anyway, so today we are going to talk about the Batman casting updates. So a little while back, I posted a video about the Riddler being cast, Paul Dano, and sort of hypothesized who the Penguin could be. One of the first ones that I had listed was Andy Serkis, and I'm going to show that video right here because it is relevant to not who's actually being considered to be the Penguin now, but Alfred. So check this out. So another possible Penguin I thought about would be Andy Serkis. Now, some of you might recall Andy Serkis as playing Gollum. He also was the Snoke of the recent Star Wars trilogy. And he does have a lot of other film and TV stuff. He's very well known for, I guess, doing a lot of CG with his face. He was on Planet of the Apes as well. And he has kind of a dark kind of look to him that could be an interesting take on a modern Penguin for this film. So I don't know. It was something I just thought about, and he does play mysterious well. So there's that. And one last thing I want to know about: who do you think is going to be Alfred? That's the other main cast I'm curious about. So yeah, I'm really interested to see about Alfred, how they're going to cast him. I look forward to your thoughts about that. So I was really thinking that he would have been a good Penguin option, but according to an article that I have here in I guess fanthatracks.com, we can see here that Andy Serkis is in talks to play Alfred Pennyworth in Matt Reeves' Batman movie. Now, he and Matt Reeves have a history together on Planet of the Apes, and I think something else as well. I can't recall, but I know for sure Planet of the Apes. And just to kind of briefly go over some of this article, it says Andy Serkis is in talks to star as Alfred Pennyworth, Bruce Wayne's loyal butler in Matt Reeves' The Batman film. The film is to feature Robert Pattinson as the titular crime fighter. Titular, I hate that word. Such a weird word. Andy Serkis is in talks to play Alfred Pennyworth. It tells Variety, while Colin Farrell is being eyed to play the famous Batman villain, the Penguin. Now, more on him later, but I want to continue with this. Robert Pattinson is on board to play the title role. Zoe Kravitz will play Catwoman, and Paul Dano is set to play the Riddler. So pre-production on Warner Brothers DC Comics adaptation is expected to start this summer. No official start date has been set, although sources tell Variety that filming could start in late 2019, early 20. Expected to hit theaters in June 25th. Serkis joins the ranks of Michael Gough, Michael Caine, Jeremy Irons, who previously all played Alfred. And Serkis and Reeves have a strong relationship going back to their days on Planet of the Apes, which Reeves directed while Serkis played the key character of Caesar. So yeah, I'm liking this. The guy has a very good background, lots of different roles that he's played. I feel like this is going to be an interesting take on it. Again, another really strong cast. I'm going to talk a little bit about the Penguin one here in a second, and then kind of discuss maybe how the dynamics are with all these strong leads and supporting roles, how that's going to affect who has been cast. And I kind of want to touch on that after we talk about the Penguin. So let's get into the Penguin now. So in a recent article in The Guardian, we have some information about who is now being considered for the Penguin. And honestly, I went through probably like 5 or 6 potentials that I thought could be the Penguin. Colin Farrell was nowhere near my radar with that one. So although I came close with Andy Serkis in some level, not so much with Colin Farrell. So what does Colin Farrell's casting as the Penguin tell us about Batman? In a departure from the tradition, the actor rumored to have waddled into the frame as the villain in Matt Reeves' forthcoming film has leading man looks. In many ways, Colin Farrell would be a surprising choice to play Oswald Cobblepot, aka the Penguin, in Matt Reeves' The Batman, though the Hollywood trade press is reporting he is the likely candidate. Farrell is neither squat and rotund like the version portrayed by Danny DeVito in Tim Burton's Batman Returns, nor slight and awkward like the memorable Penguin played on TV by Robin Lord Taylor in Gotham. Many observers had expected the role to go to Josh Gad, the Frozen and Book of Mormon stalwart, who campaigned heavily for the role on Twitter and seemed the perfect choice should Reeves be headed in an operatic, larger-than-life direction for his reinvention of the Batman myth. That it is the Irishman who will pull off Cobblepot's trademark, or pull on, this is the interesting writing choices here, will pull on Cobblepot's trademark top hat and tuxedo may be instructive about this forthcoming vision of Gotham City. Farrell is perfectly capable of hamming it up. There are those of us who are still reeling from his toe-curling Irish bullseye in the misfiring Daredevil 2003, but he seems likely to be more understated Penguin than those we have seen in the past. A more obvious choice to play the villain, if Reeves wanted a furniture-chewing Cobblepot, might have been his old pal Andy Serkis, yet the latter has been cast as Alfred Pennyworth instead, which we just talked about. So, basically, I don't know what to think about this, except that I feel like this is yet again a really strong actor. Again, I have no doubt that he can carry out this role extremely well. My concern is how the dynamic between him and Paul Dano would be. One of the things I had talked about in my previous Batman movie video was, I think what's going to make or break this, obviously, other than how Robert Pattinson does as Batman, is the writing between these main two villains. It's been done before one way, and I'm curious if a reinterpretation of the relationship between these two villains is going to be different. Gotham had an entirely different reinterpretation of these two. How is Colin Farrell's role in this movie going to be in terms of any similarities from the Gotham reinterpretation or the previous reinterpretation with it's just going to be interesting to see where they go with this. It's kind of been all over the place, and so I think the dynamic between those two is a make or break for this movie. With that being said, the other thing is, Catwoman, Zoe Kravitz, she doesn't have, she's been in a lot of movies. She has had a lot of roles, but has she been memorable in them? It's tough to say. I personally don't feel like she stood out to me. And in a crowd like this on film, I feel like she has got her work cut out for her. She's got to bring it, because Robert Pattinson, I have not seen The Lighthouse yet, but up until that point that movie came out, I was kind of questioning the choice in casting for him. Other than having that strong alpha male chin that he has, I was just like, I don't really understand it. To me, I always see Cedric Diggory. That's just where my head goes. So, and then of course Twilight, which I never really got into, but I've seen him a lot in that. So, I heard The Lighthouse really put him in a different kind of a acting role that made him stand out in a way that a lot of people felt like they have confidence that he could do something like this too. So that's great. But again, going back to Zoe, I don't know. I feel for her, because I want her to do well. I want her to stand out. I would love to have a really great Catwoman on screen again. The previous ones they've been pretty great to me. Michelle Pfeiffer, you can't really, it's really hard to beat that one. So, there's been some other ones that have been pretty great too, and we'll see. We'll see. Of course, the original was fantastic too. She had a lovely singing voice, so maybe Zoe will have something from her father like that. I don't know what to make of it still. But anyway, I wanted to kind of share with you my thoughts, and I wanted to know yours as well. What do you think about the possible casting for Colin Farrell as the Penguin? And what do you think about the dynamic or role that it's going to be between the Penguin and the Riddler in this movie coming out in 2021? We got a lot of time to hash it out and think about it, so that's great. Anyway, with all that being said, again, thank you guys for all your support with my channel. If you haven't already, click like on this video. It really helps me as a YouTuber to get my content out there, have a little bit further reach, and hit that subscribe button if you like any of this kind of content. Lots of random stuff, definitely kind of all over the place in terms of my interests, but lots of focus on sci-fi and you know, video games and some other little things here and there, including Batman. So yeah, again, I appreciate you guys stopping by, and until next time, fandom, see you later. Bye.